Hello and welcome to Sasa and Goff Live Recorded.
I'm Sasha.
And I'm Goff, and this is episode number 42, and this week we're talking about our top and bottom 3 music videos. So, I don't know, is this another one that was a little tougher than you thought it was going to be?
The top was easy because it was just having to sort through a bunch of music videos that you like.
I feel like this is more just suggestions because there's so damn many.
There's a lot, yeah.
Okay.
The bottom was a little tough for me because it was like, well, you know, if I like a song, it's harder for me to not like the video. What makes a bad video?
Mine, I have some pretty good criteria, I think, for mine. I think a lot of mine are more like videos I just found unsettling, maybe.
Okay.
Or scared me.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued because I couldn't really think of too many, so I just went with like cheesy that I didn't like.
Okay.
So, I don't know. We'll
Good
see
stuff.
what happens.
Cool. How was your week? How was your spring break?
It's good. I got drunk and went swimming.
Nice. Us too. Mine is both of those things.
Yeah, I didn't go swimming. I didn't get drunk. Nothing. Just relaxed a little bit, trying to handle my business.
Yeah,
what about you?
live your life. No, I mean, my kids had spring break last week, so I worked. So my wife had Joni had the kids for the week.
Do kids, younger kids like that, like my cousin has a kid who is a senior in high school.
Okay.
And she went on like a trip.
Yeah, they do. I mean, there's class trips.
Do they do that like younger people too?
Junior high, they might do like a weekend.
Okay.
I believe for high school, yeah, when they go out of the country, it's a little more than a weekend. Maybe
Yeah.
over Thanksgiving break. No, they go for a couple weeks, but yeah, they go to like Italy, France,
Okay.
stuff like that. I think in middle school, we went to Wisconsin or something for the weekend.
It's weird when you don't have kids, you don't think about things like when the school year is or like
Well,
spring
speaking
break
of that,
or anything.
my oldest daughter just turned 13. Happy birthday, Sadie. You're
Happy
not
birthday.
listening. But, I mean, yeah, just like I was thinking about that, and it's like these are things that it's like you and I can't really talk about.
No.
Because it's like first of all, it's girls. Which most of the stuff I can't even deal with. I get a free pass kind of a lot of times. I mean, no, because Jody will be like, like say she's like arguing with one of the girls and it's like I might text her maybe. It's like, do you need me to come up? And she's like, no. Plus I also like I'm too like quick to just be like, what the hell are we doing here? And just start yelling and
about anything in particular or about every single situation?
School usually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, usually just school stuff. But that kind of made me think because I did something earlier this week to Joni and it kind of annoyed her. And I was wondering if there's anything, and you might have to think of this, so I'll kind of talk while you're thinking. Anything in particular you can think that you do to or with Megan that like annoys her, but and you don't do it on purpose? Because like for mine, I did one the other morning. I put out the garbage cans, and since, like I love my lawn, I don't like putting the garbage cans on the actual grass, so I'll put them on, on the driveway on the inside. So like 3 years ago, Jody was backing out and plowed into the recycle can and like fucked up the light on the back and everything. So now every single time I do that, I have to let her know that the garbage cans are on, and it's like what I did it the other day was like, hey, not a big deal, but just letting you know when you back out. And she's like, I did that one time, and I didn't have a reverse camera, which her car does now. But there's that, and then another thing, I text her almost every morning to tell her that I fed the fish, and she's like, you turn the light on or open the, because I try to like make it like it's their daytime, but it's still dark when I leave, so I turn the lamp on by them. I'll feed them, and then I put the fish food on top of the tank to let her know, but still text her every day to tell her that I fed the fish so she won't do it again.
So
and it's
she
like you
finds that annoying?
Yeah, she knows. It's just like you turn the light on, the food is out of place, so I can tell.
Yeah, okay, so like with feeding Callie sometimes in the afternoon, there's been a couple times where like I'd have to go to work later, like let's say 4 in the afternoon or whatever.
Okay.
Megan comes home at 5. If there's a miscommunication, sometimes I'll feed Callie before I leave. So if Megan comes home, she thinks she's got to feed Callie. Yeah. So there's that little communication. So she would ask me, just write a note. Just write a note that says, don't feed.
Leave a note.
Yeah. Just leave a note that says, don't feed Callie. I fed her. But then the next day, I go to work at 8 a.m., 9 a.m. And then I don't leave a note because it's 8 a.m., 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And then she comes home at 5 and she's like, what are we doing? Am I feeding her? And I'm like, Yeah, I'm not gonna leave you a note at 8 in the morning. So that's one thing for sure.
Yeah.
The other thing is just me being who I am as a person. It really bugs Megan. She does not like me.
You
mostly.
said on last week's episode you're hard to live with or hard to be married to.
Yeah, I stand by it 100%. We were playing Chicago Monopoly last night.
All
I
right.
know. Naked. Maybe
In the front yard.
maybe we were, maybe we weren't.
All right.
But we were playing that, and like she destroyed me. It was embarrassing to my manhood.
All right.
And as the game went on, we kind of saw where it was going. She was building hotels, and I was over here. No joke, my best option was going to jail because then I wouldn't have to land on her hotels.
Moving up.
And yeah, so like the best financial decision for me was to stay in the purgatory jail, whatever it was. But then it's a thing where like I have hotels and she always lands in between them or just completely passes them by and never lands on mine. And then every single time I not only land on hers, but then I roll snake eyes and I land on another one too by. And then I'm like, this is like real life. I just everything's shitting on me. And she's like, you're a bad human, and I don't like living here anymore, or whatever she says. I don't. It's something like that. And that's how I hear it.
She really cut you down during Monopoly, huh?
Normally she's just like, you should stop being a negative person and move on with your life or whatever it is. But no, you don't get that. You don't get the.
No, my wife loves and respects me. Fears me.
No, I don't have any of that. No respect, no love, no fear.
So a couple weeks ago.
No. Let me keep going.
Oh, you're still going.
We went and we did our taxes recently, and it was not good for me. Megan dwarfs me financially.
Really, even with this podcast?
Mentally, in every way possible, she dwarfs me. So.
Okay. Penis size too?
That's a tough question to answer because it insinuates that
you have a small penis.
Yeah. No, that is known. But yeah, no. There's plenty of stuff that I annoy her with, and she doesn't threaten to kick me out, but like normal people probably would.
Yeah,
she puts up with me.
Yeah, not like it's like, hey, you piece of shit, stop telling me to not hit the dry or the garbage can, but if you tell me one more time, you might not wake up tomorrow. Something like that.
Yeah, and she watches way too much of that crime stuff.
So she knows how to do it?
Yeah.
Perfect.
You ever drink water and you're like, this isn't water?
Yeah, like this tastes like it has eye drops in it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That happens a lot.
Hey, what's your take?
What was the question?
I got another question for you.
Okay.
What is your stance on Cheetos? I need a quick answer here because I don't understand.
No, I'm against them.
Okay, good. Because my kids, which will scour our house for everything, I mean, like for treats, snacks, everything, I hide treats and they find them. Bags of Cheetos just sit untouched.
Yeah,
it's hilarious. Because I figured Cheetos, I mean, like, my kids love chips. Most kids love chips, salty chips, but Cheetos? I
don't like chips either. I never
love chips.
Was a chips person growing up, but the only thing worse than Cheetos is like spicy or hot Cheetos or whatever. Now you're just combining two things
hot
that
ones.
suck. Yeah.
Too aggressive, UFC aggressive.
Why?
Which, by the way...
By the way, I'm coming right back at you with the by the way.
All right.
Aggressive in two natures. One, the fieriness, the heat that it's bringing. Two, Cheetos are like pointy and crunchy. I bleed every time I eat Cheetos.
Yeah.
So, no. Take your Cheetos and get out of here.
You can throw them down the toilet with pretzels. Just pretzels in general.
Callie likes eating pretzels now. That's
I
a
ate
weird
a pretzel the other day. I was so hungry I had to.
Wow.
That's all that was out.
They need to make a place where you could just drive through and get pretzels. You can't do that, really.
Well, as far as not drive-through, but yeah, anyway.
No, drive-through.
All right. That's interesting.
What else were you going to say?
Drive-through pretzels, nothing.
I
wanted to run something by you, kind of.
All right.
All right. So this is more. I'm gonna take a few minutes on this one. You get to sit back and listen and hopefully laugh and find this entertaining, but I doubt it.
I'll be the judge of that.
So we talked a couple weeks ago when we were talking about dream jobs. Or at least I said in mine, it was just like I would love to be a comedy writer.
Yeah.
So we got into like off camera, talked a little bit more about that. It's like, hey, have you done anything, whatever. And I told you I had an idea. I've got an idea for a movie. But this is only the very, very beginning. I have a cold open, and it's a story. This is a true story. But I don't know why. We didn't have much to talk about this week. I thought it would be funny to tell, and I want you to think, or at least let me know. You got nothing over there.
Mine says, who do people say you look like?
Oh, for me, Justin Timberlake, oddly.
All right, Joni, you're lying.
No, not even her. I don't think she's ever said it. Also, Will Smith.
That one makes sense.
All
you
right.
did slap me earlier.
Yes. Okay. All right. So this is, again, this is something that happened to me. So back in the day, I was a custodian at a school. All right. And one day, I was doing my rounds. Walked into one of the bathrooms to clean it. And, you know, it's a bathroom, but it fucking stank in there. Like, okay. So I had to check out just to make sure that there wasn't anything left behind, you know, so while I'm cleaning this bathroom, I don't have to smell this the whole time. So I check all the toilets. Empty. Nothing in there. I check all 8 or 9 urinals. Nothing in there. All right. So I'm just thinking in my head now, someone was just really good at what they did. And they left this lingering. Okay. So I go on, I clean the rest of the bathroom.
You are a poet.
Yeah, so I got to try to, like, you know, make the story, you know,
I appreciate
cut out the story. You're welcome. All right, so I clean the rest of the bathroom, do my thing, make this bathroom look wonderful. But that stupid smell is still there. The last thing I always do when I clean bathrooms is the hand dryers. However, I noticed that one of them is aimed up. Because you know how some of these things you can spin, like if you want to dry your hair or your face, or some of them are just loose. When I look in there, I can just see a turd in the urinal. So...
Not urinal,
sorry, in the hand dryer.
Okay.
All right. So my first thought, besides some fucking disgusting human did this, because unless they got on someone's shoulders and it was a team effort for them to poop in there, they had to handle this thing to drop it in.
Wow.
Okay? And then... how many times did the person at least sit around and hit the button for it to, you know? Because I'm guessing not many other kids walked in and noticed that, because you wouldn't tap the button just for the hell of it. So whoever did this either got it like shortly before I was in there, or it was a team effort maybe. And it was like, hey, go in during fifth period.
And this was a high school, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
So I thought, as far as like a cold open for a movie or a TV or a show or whatever, you know, just a guy like kind of like walking down the hallway, like doing it, like almost like Christopher Walken in Joe Dirt, movie we talked about last week. Just like having a great night, and then they walk in and it's like, can't figure this out. And then it would be one of those views where it's just a circular shot of, and then my face coming in looking down, and you would just see like kind of a black like circle in the corner. So it would be like the turds view looking up. But yeah, I mean, you know, and then it would just be like exactly what I said when I looked in there. It's just like fucking brilliant. Like whoever did this is disgusting and depraved, but it's like, that is genius.
Yeah, that's like someone who goes on to do something with their life.
Yeah.
Like this was just, you know, point
Yeah,
A.
this was probably Steve Jobs. This
Yeah,
was like 50
yeah.
years ago. But the funniest thing about it too, though, was the end result, where it was like, all right, now it's like, all right, I got to get this turd out of here. And then I just turned it upside down and just, boop, just it fell right out. It was perfect. Because it was like all dried out. And so, what do you think? I think it's got some potential, maybe if
I'm
delivered
seeing the
differently.
downfall if we write a sitcom based off of this.
All right, so if we ever see anyone do this, it started here on Sasa and Goff.
But you see how disgusting this show could be.
Well, that's why I don't know if it could work for a sitcom.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have to. You know what though? It could work for a sitcom. I mean, if you don't like
Well,
play
what's
it
a
up
sitcom
like it's
anyway?
disgusting.
It's not like you'd be writing it for NBC. You would write it, and you would write shorts.
I'd be
probably.
writing it
would
for
be like,
Freeform.
Yeah, 10 minutes, you put it on YouTube, and
Yeah.
you have a good time. It could be anything you want it to be, but, you know, in order for people to like it, they have to, there's probably like a ratio of turd.
Yeah,
versus
well,
non-turd.
yeah. Obviously, you've got people who love poop jokes, and
Yeah.
some people who are completely turned off. But I mean, like, you know, something along those lines. Maybe
It
it's
is funny,
vomit
though.
or something.
So is that like the weirdest thing you've ever found in a hand dryer?
Oh my god. Yeah. No,
What
I
are
mean,
some tricks of the bathroom trade? Like,
as a custodian?
because I know the thing where you like put paper towels in and then you turn the water on and you leave so that the water overflows.
Oh,
the
you
sink.
mean as far as like something like what the kids do?
chicanery? Yeah, what's the
Well, you know what? There was there was a TikTok trend like 3 or 4 years ago called Devious Licks, where kids were posting videos of them just destroying like bathrooms. Not like that, not like destroying toilets. Like, that'd be terrible.
Oh no!
But no, I mean like kids knocking out ceiling tiles,
Wow.
ripping down partitions, knocking hand dryers
And you had
off
to
the
deal
wall.
with that? Like-
Yeah, I mean like, I think at the time that school I was at wasn't as it was like kind of tame compared to some of the stuff that was online. But this one here, I mean, this is someone who took some time and mastered their craft.
No,
and
it's
like I said,
it's a good story. It's a solid.
Good thing it was solid.
On
I'll say
their
that.
end, it's very solid
Yeah.
and brown. But on your end, that's got to suck, right? Or were you like laughing and were you kind of like?
I was, if it would have, and not to sound disgusting or anything, but it's like I didn't mind after again.
It wasn't
the
that
disposal
bad.
was very easy.
Okay.
I got a kick out of it, and it's just like, all right, it's not like I got to hang out in this. I mean, because it was still wafting for a while.
Yeah, I bet.
But
Oof.
yeah, I mean, like it was for the thing to still be aimed up and like, and you got to imagine if someone else didn't know that and turned it and then put the thing back in,
no.
maybe.
Whew. That is why I don't use public bathrooms.
Yeah.
I just hold it forever. I went to Europe one time. I didn't go to the bathroom for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks.
No joke. I came back with severe stomach issues, but I didn't go to the bathroom.
Or sitting down, or anything.
Anything,
huh?
Yeah.
All right.
And I was eating every day. New food.
Good stuff. All right, man. Well,
I liked it. So how many of those stories do you have, though?
that's just the one I have off the top of my head.
Okay.
I mean, I can definitely.
You've
I
had
have
some things.
many years, yes, of disgusting stories and
This might become a weekly story time or bi-weekly story time.
tales from the toilet bowl or something like
Yeah,
that.
what can Brown do for you? Or
We'll have to add like a toilet flush sound in there. and
Yeah,
then,
perfect.
I'll think of some gross stories from my
They don't have to be
days as a
gross.
custodian,
They
or
don't
just
have-
regular ones. Yeah,
All right.
that's awesome. All right, well, I got nothing else. I mean, if you want, we could just jump into thumbs up, thumbs down. What are we putting inside ourselves?
Yeah, that sounds good. Let me start.
All right.
Let me start with a couple. One, I watched Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. We talked about this
Nice.
on Top Disney Movies like 6 weeks ago or something like that.
Did it hold up?
It was all right.
Okay,
It was all right.
take it.
I wouldn't say that I loved it. I loved that it was 90 minutes. I'll give you 90 minutes.
Okay.
If you have a movie that's more than 90 minutes, you're taking from me
Yeah.
now. You better be good.
Nice.
If your movie is
That's a
90
good way to put it.
If your movie's 90 minutes and it's bad, you had 90 minutes cuz I'm watching a movie, you have 90 minutes to impress
Give
me.
me your pitch.
And so this movie to me, a lot of stuff that I do actually remember watching from it when I was a kid, and I was like, oh yeah, this is the part we're here. Oh, the pollen and so there was a lot of that stuff. One part that really hurt, that I did not think was going to, like I totally forgot about it, was when the scorpion is attacking the kids and Auntie has to fight it, and then Auntie dies.
That's what that was one of my gripes about the movie, because it's like, how big is that ant that a scorpion could pick it up, and it just didn't seem right size wise. But yeah, no. And I talked about that the first time I watched it with my kids. I paused it right before that scene and was like, let's go brush our teeth, and then just fast forwarded like 5 minutes, and then when they
remember you
came back
saying
down,
that, yes.
yeah, it was just like,
Oh,
oh no,
man.
they let it go
Well, I wish you were here a couple days ago to turn it off and then tell me to go to the bathroom.
to hold you.
Yeah, because it messed with me. I was sad. I was like legit like,
Yeah.
because you think of it as like a pet.
Well, yeah.
Like to them, the aunt was like good to them and helped them out and whatever. And then we had an issue where like recently there was like something spilled and we didn't notice it, and we got a bunch of ants. I just had to kill all these ants. And this
Yeah.
was right after I watched
little
this movie.
anties.
Then I felt horrible for all these ants, and I'm like, man, as I get older, I become much more sensitive. And like, when I was a kid, I'd be like, oh, let's set them on fire.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, this is a life.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what this ant is thinking? And like, it's apparently not thinking, because I don't think they have brains, but they're so smart. And, whatever. But that part really messed with me.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I had to like, sit there. And of course, that was the part of the movie. Megan brought it up like earlier, and then she fell asleep during that part of the movie. And when she woke up, I was like, you missed the ant thing. And she was like, well,
That's my favorite part.
she was like, that's better, I guess, that I missed it. So, yeah, but like decent It was okay. Some of it's dumb. It's like, these kids are annoying. Like, no one's that annoying.
The sister's probably the most annoying. Of course, I got to call the woman out.
Yeah.
Actually, the little brother... yeah, you're right.
The neighbor...
The older brother is probably okay. He's probably the least annoying.
Yeah, the neighbor, older brother. Yeah, the younger brother was kind of annoying. Yeah. It was like, settle down, guy. Okay. Yeah. Their dad was kind of funny.
He was like, I loved the scene where he, like, pulls a muscle trying to lift it, and then like later on, the kids in the background just easily lifting the weights,
And he's like, like, lift with your legs, and then he's like, oh, my back.
Do you remember Max Headroom?
Yeah.
That's who that is, that actor.
Oh,
Matt
okay.
Frewer. Yeah, that's who Max Headroom was.
He reminded me of Ugg Lee from Salute Your Shorts, the camp counselor or whatever. It was just kind of the same character, too. It was kind of like a goofy, like...
Yeah, no, he does. He looks like him too, and he had almost looked like a fisherman.
Yeah.
Like a camp counselor.
So I watched that. It was okay. It was worth watching. We actually tried watching the other one, Honey, I
Blew up the kid.
Okay,
Honey, I killed the kids.
Cranked the kids or whatever it was. I don't know.
I sold the kids away to.
We made it 2 minutes and then we left, or we were not in the mood to watch it, so I didn't get to see that one. Or the
I haven't
12
seen
others
of the
that
others.
happened,
Yeah.
Besides that, a show got added recently at the Salt Shed in Chicago. I've never been. They turned it into a concert venue. It used to be the Morton Salt, whatever.
I've heard.
And all of a sudden, they keep adding a bunch of shows that I'm like, I think I'm going to be spending a lot of time at the Salt Shed this.
So now do they have seats there?
I don't think so.
I thought it was like a pavilion almost.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, it is. It's like a bigger, and I don't like going to shows that are generally like thousands of people or whatever. But producer Tony went to see whatever bands he likes.
Lamb of God.
No, not Tool. Not their name escapes me right now, and it's crazy because he talks about them all the time. They're French. They played the opening Olympics game. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He's going to kill me if he ever hears this. So my name is Brian Goff. Okay. Go to my host. But anyway, he said the Salt Shed was a pretty cool venue. So I was like, all right, that's cool. Well, show got added their Pup and Jeff Rosenstock. I'm a big Pup fan, huge Pup fan. Our buddy Useless Dave's going to be going, and so I think he picked me up a ticket.
Nice.
So I'm going to go to the Salt Shed for that. So I was like, I'm going to listen to Jeff Rosenstock. Are you familiar? He used to be in a band called Bomb the Music Industry.
It's a great name.
Love Bomb the Music Industry.
I know that name. Yeah, that's a great one.
Now, they have a bunch of albums, and I don't love all of them, but I do have a couple that are really solid albums for me that I still listen to all the time.
Okay.
Then he went, and now he's just Jeff Rosenstock. So he just put out a bunch of albums. Him, Dan Pothast is in his band, ME330 singer. Okay. So he's in the band. It's just a solid band, really, really good and unique. He's got his own sound, his own thing. I just can't get into his solo stuff for some reason. I've been trying to for years, and I just can't.
Does it sound anything like his band?
You can definitely see growing from where his band was to where it is now, but I feel like I got left at the train tracks over here.
I feel like Jim Lindbergh with Pennywise is kind of in that. There's Pennywise, who I love. There's the Black Pacific, who it's and then there's his solo stuff that I don't care for.
I think that's a pretty good comparison.
Okay.
It's like you want to like it too because it's
that person.
Yeah, it's that person. You're like, I really like this person, and so I don't know. I'm going to see him. He's going to be opening for Pup, and I know they did a song or two together or something too. So that'll be fun. But yeah, it's just really weird to like one of his things so much and then to just not be able to get into the other thing, which isn't a complete. I mean, musically, it's almost similar, but it's just I don't know. It's not there for me. But he's bigger than he's ever been, so good for Jeff Rosenstock. And then the only other thing I got for you here, I watched a comedy show. It's called Mint Comedy, right? So I got this ad on Instagram. Have you heard of the Comedy Cellar in New York?
Yeah.
It's very famous comedy place, whatever. Every Thursday there's an app, Mint Comedy. You look up your apps. I don't know how apps work. And they basically do a live stream from the Comedy Cellar. So for an hour and 15 minutes or whatever, you get a show. And you can either pay $5 to watch the show, which is a great price to watch Comedy Cellar stuff in your own house.
Yeah.
Or you could pay $6 a month.
So you can watch like a live feed?
Yeah, it's
live.
That's
awesome.
Every Thursday.
That's awesome.
And they tell you which like 5 or 6 comedians are on there. So like this week, Jordan Jensen was on. She's pretty big. Maddie Weiner is very funny. I think she's from Chicago. A bunch of other people.
Great name.
So if you want to watch like some of the best comedians, it's a really cool thing. And for $5, and I streamed it to my phone and then just like to my television and watched it, and it was great quality.
Nice.
But it's also like if you pay $6 a month, you get 4 of the shows because it's every Thursday.
Okay.
And it's just $6 a month, so you can either pay $5 for one show or like get a monthly thing, which whatever. And if you're really into comedy, and you can just keep watching that stuff or whatever. But I thought it was, I don't know, it was really cool. And
that is awesome.
Like, why aren't more places doing this? And also, I'm like, is this bad for comedy? Like, people don't want to leave their home as it is. Yeah. Now they don't have to or whatever. But, I mean, it was completely sold out and packed at the show. So
I guess, you know, how much of it's going to the comedian themselves. I'm sure as long as they know what's going on, you know, it's being...
Yeah, and that's another thing, too. It's like these people get paid a certain amount because they're all, like, passed at the cellar. So if you have a 15-minute set, they pay you $20 or whatever the fee is. So it's like, are they getting money from this as well?
Yeah.
There's also like on the app you can tip the comedians who are on there. So like if you really like somebody, you can be like, hey, here's an extra whatever. Yeah. I wonder if it actually goes to them. I wonder like all those logistics things too.
Yeah, because $5, I mean, that's nothing.
Yeah. Either way, it's a cool idea.
Deal, yeah.
And like if you have 1,000 people watching elsewhere around the country or whatever, you just brought in 5,000. Yeah. You know, like.
It's great publicity.
Good idea. Amazing quality too for like an app. So
nice.
Mint Comedy. Check it out. And that's all I got.
All right, I got 2 things this week. One of them's music. That's the first thing I'll talk about. It's the new album by A Day to Remember. You ever get into them?
You got me into them, actually.
I could never tell because I think there was a long period of time I would tell you about bands and you'd be like, no, they suck or whatever. And I wasn't sure if it was like, I don't know if he actually listened to them or...
No, you gave me a couple... Like, I'm not a huge fan. I don't span their entire discography, but there's a couple albums that I like, and they're in a couple mixes that I have and stuff like that.
That's funny you say about the discography. I was actually looking at that when I was writing this down because it's like, yeah, I want to see like how long I've been into this band. And apparently I've kind of always been a fan. I think I got into them with their second album that was 2007. And like still listening now because I was like, oh, you know what? I think the last couple have been, and I'm looking at them. It's like, oh, wait, no, I like that. Oh, I like this one too. So I guess, yeah, this album, it's not as like heavy. And it's more poppy, but they've been kind of going that way. But they've always been a really good band at just writing very catchy melodies and like good radio songs. So yeah, I'm totally fine. I mean, this is like their 7th or 8th studio album, so I'm fine that they're not still as, you know, like the breakdowns every song. And
but they're even like their heavy stuff and screaming is not like offensive to me.
Yeah,
it's like it's good screaming. It's not like I don't want to listen to this, it's too much. It's just like the right amount, and then they go back and forth. Solid band. I think solid band, and you got me into them. My cousin Nick tried getting me into them, and I was like, I'm not having this. And then you were like, try this album, you're closed-minded, but you'll like this one.
You're not as much as I am, but all right. So anyway, yeah, the new album's called Big Ol' Album Volume 1. So I don't know if it's a concept album or something, but anyway, this came out like a few weeks back. If you're a fan, check it out. Second thing, all right, man, this is kind of in the spirit of last week. Another thing you've seen already that I'm jumping on to give you my review for.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
No, but last week I mentioned how this guy should be up on our wall. It's Jason Bateman, and the movie is Carry On. You did see that, right?
Yes.
So you liked it?
I did.
I kind of didn't. And one of the things is, and I know this is just acting, I don't like him as a bad guy. And I know he was essentially Michael Bluth, but just like because he was calling the kid buddy, and it just reminded me of him calling George Michael, hey, come on, buddy. And I love Jason Bateman, and even because this was another one we watched at work, and one of the other guys said the same thing. He's like, I don't buy Jason Bateman as the bad guy, but I've seen Ozark. I've seen him play not a bad guy, but do bad things.
Okay.
And it's like Jason Bateman has mannerisms, the way he acts. So it's almost like Jason Bateman, in a way, besides like Dodgeball, you know, he's almost playing the same character in everything because, and I hate to say that because he's a great actor and I don't want to mean like he's typecast. but he can play that very stoic, like in Arrested Development, because he like hates his family, so he's always being a smart ass, and you know, so it's very rare to see like a Jason Bateman like a slapstick character. So I feel like, yeah, the character itself wasn't too offensive, but it's
not too far away from his how
wheelhouse.
He is normally in things.
Yeah. So again, I feel like that could have been Michael Bluth, but now it's like he's a terrorist for the plane. So the two main characters, the guy who he's like working with, you know, I didn't care for him and his wife or his fiance, girlfriend, whatever. Not enough going on there for me to give a shit. This movie seemed very much like Phone Booth. Do you remember that one? It was Kiefer Sutherland and Colin Farrell. No. So it was the guy, he hopped into a phone booth to make a call and then gets a phone call, and it's some guy who's got like a gun trained on him. So it's like the whole movie is, all right, now do this. And it's which that movie was okay. I mean, like, a lot of mixed reviews, but I liked it.
Is that an old movie?
Probably like early 2000s.
Okay. One thing I liked about this movie, I did like this movie, but one thing I liked is that it reminded me kind of an older fashion movie, like an old action movie that I would watch. One thing I did not like was that car chase.
Oh, it got really weird, right? That's what I was saying to the guys at work. I'm just like, whoa, what the hell happened here? Because all of a sudden it was like they tried to do it all artsy, where the camera's like spinning around inside of the car. That's a good call. Totally good call.
Is not anywhere else in the entire thing.
It reminded me of, if anyone who's seen the first Deadpool movie, that opening sequence when Deadpool's fighting guys inside a car and the camera. Yeah, because it was just like a regular, like, you know, semi-action movie, and then all of a sudden, very CGI heavy, and just because they wanted to show you this cool, which came out of nowhere, and ultimately it was just like, that was so out of place. So that's a good call.
Yeah, that was my least favorite thing. That while we were watching it, I was like, no.
Do you remember the guy, the other guy he was working with?
And it's like, tells your dog to stop. That's what I did to the movie. And then we turned it off and we watched Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Did that to Megan. Do you remember the guy in the movie by any chance who he was working with? The dude that like had the mustache that was like the sniper?
Not like...
So the character you remember, but not like the actor. Yeah. Okay, I also can't stand that actor.
Okay.
His name's Theo Rossi. He was in Sons of Anarchy, and then most recently he was in the... Oh, did you guys watch Penguin?
No.
Okay. He was in that.
By the way, I'm with you too on like the good guy and his girlfriend in it. It was kind of like, I felt like maybe they were new actors or something. Like there was a reason why I didn't care about it. I looked it up, and he's like,
he played Elton John. Yeah. In that. The other girl, she's a big Disney actor. Okay.
But I did like the movie though. Like it reminded me of an old school movie. I just didn't like that one part really. I liked the ending too. It was kind of like you know how they got. I don't want to spoil it if somebody's gonna watch it or whatever. But like, I thought it was okay. But I do kind of get it with Jason Bateman, what you're saying. It's like he doesn't have to play anybody like too far away from who he is.
It's like, listen, but like in this one, we need you to be, I don't know, just be the best friend. Angry. So be kind, yeah. So I don't know. I didn't think it was very good.
Okay.
But weird too that was like a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Or at least took place around Christmas time. So
made me scared of airports. That's why I didn't go anywhere.
That's what made me scared of airports. Yeah.
Yeah, Serbian.
All right, so let's get into our top three. Then we're talking about our top three music videos, man. This is good.
Bottom three.
This is a fun like MTV episode, and bottom three, yeah. So
music videos. What do you think about music videos in general? Do you miss them at all? Were you ever a big music video guy?
Oh yeah, I was a big MTV guy, and I feel like every music video now is made like by the band, so there's like there's a little bit of, well, it doesn't seem like it's that, but you know what, like people can do stuff. I mean, come on, you've seen those videos I make for the podcast. Those are high quality, and I make them on my phone. But anyway, no, and then there's also so many lyric videos now, and there's so many just live footage videos where they try to match up the singing with the, you know, which I was never really a big fan of those kind of videos.
I used to tape videos all the time, like VHS, in that bundle that's right over there by you. I'm
right
sure there's
here.
A bunch that are like Aerosmith, Crazy, or whatever it is.
Why did you think? Oh, you were listening to him. You texted me.
The other day.
Them,
I was just wondering, like, because I haven't listened to or thought of Aerosmith in quite a while, so I was like, I'm gonna listen to these guys.
It was a good way you asked. It's like, do you like classic Or do you like, because there was that what was
90s.
that album called? The one with the cow udder on it. Whichever one. The one where he brought his daughter and Alicia Silverstone into every video. That was
Yeah.
almost like its own Aerosmith era.
Like Shut Up and Dance was on
No,
that.
well, like,
Crazy.
Crying.
Crying.
Ragdoll. Yeah, Crying was one.
Yeah.
Take Me to the Other Side.
Yeah, and then there was
Living on the Edge.
and then
Yeah.
and then the next album was the one with the cat.
Okay.
9 Lives or
Yeah.
something like that, and it had Pink, and that's when they kind of like lost me. It's like,
When did they do Jaded? Because that was I didn't really care for that one, but
yeah, I don't know.
yeah, the song Dream On is it like for such a classic. I was never
Not
a fan.
a fan.
No,
I like
no.
it. I think it's a good song, but I knew you were gonna have an opinion on it.
I have opinion on that. If you text me, you're gonna get at least 3
But
paragraphs.
I thought
back.
you would have liked that era of Aerosmith and maybe not the newer one. And you were kind of vice versa. You liked the 90s a little bit more
Yeah.
than the older ones. So.
It just more upbeat, a little heavier, like Eat the Rich, actually. Do you remember that song?
do.
That song just came to my head. Eat
Yeah.
the Rich. I might listen to Aerosmith on the way home.
Look, it's not a bad thing.
No.
It's not a bad thing.
And those
I
guys,
just-
they had a little bit of success.
I was never like a huge Aerosmith guy, but they've got some jams, and like they were in Wayne's World too,
Yeah.
or whatever. Right?
Oh, yeah. And actually, like, they're not on my list, but all those videos with his daughter and Alicia Silverstone.
Listen,
Hell
you don't
yeah.
have to tell me, my friend.
All right, so, like, I'm gonna... So, like...
This arm is way bigger than this arm for a reason.
Yes. All right, so we'll do a bottom 3. I like doing bottom first. My first one, this is a very good song. So this kind of has to do with what you talked about before, where it's hard to pick a video I don't like with a song. And it's Winona's Big Brown Beaver by Primus. This
Okay.
video is very unsettling to me.
Yeah.
Those weird those costumes they have on where it's like, yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's like a Western kind of video. And it's very scary.
Okay, so
And
this
it's
is your
just-
bottom 3.
Yeah, so
Okay.
this is my
Miss-
number 3. Yeah,
All right.
Winona's Big Brown Beaver. Awesome, very good band. Cool video, I guess, like what they went for. Like they spent money and it looked good, but it's still like creepy, and I don't like the characters in it.
Yeah, and their music doesn't help the creepiness because Primus is kind of like a
Bass is very like
Yeah.
heavy, like dun dun dun.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good call.
like Primus, but yeah, the combination of those things, it was a little. Yeah, that's a good call. That's
Okay.
a good call. My number 3 is someone who I actually I'm a fan of, I guess. Paula Abdul.
Okay.
She was in this one video where it was like half cartoon and
Oh
half,
yeah, that's
Paula Abdul.
geez,
One
opposites
step
attract.
forward, one step
Yeah.
back, or what? However, it was.
Opposites attract,
Yeah.
you know.
That was just a weird video.
It was a
slash
little
song.
weird when you sit like in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You remember that movie?
Never saw it, but like I know.
Okay,
I
well,
get
there's
the-
like a very sexualized character in that,
Yeah.
and then it's like when you see humans.
It's weird.
Because yeah, in that video, yeah, there's some suggestive dancing. I think it is kind of weird that it's like this is like MC Tomcat or whatever.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Okay.
Megan actually reminded me of that video, and I was like, yeah, that's gonna go on here. This was a really difficult. The bottom 3 was really difficult for me because it was just like, do I not like the song, or do I not like the video and the song? And like, what makes you like a video versus not like a video? I like Paula Abdul, but this
Yeah.
was just a weird video. So
Back to with Primus too. I think it's just because this was such a popular song. Obviously, Winona's Big Brown Beaver, and this came out junior high era, so it was like, oh, like everyone like. So
get it.
it's like the song is fine, but it's still just like, eh. All right, so my number 2 is another video. Song's not too bad, but I guess I would say more so I don't really care for it because it reminds me of the video. And it's Don't Come Around Here No More by Tom Petty.
okay.
It's a Alice in Wonderland video.
Oh, I do remember.
Yeah, where
Yes.
he's like eating pieces of cake and it's like her and it's just
Okay.
Tom Petty as the Mad Hatter. And I mean, he is just like a fucking creepy looking dude when he's got those like dark, especially when he had like the long, just kind of stringy Hulk Hogan hair. Like just with those like those glasses, and it was just always scary to me, like, and just how she's just basically. There's that song by the Cars too, the one that's like, "You might think I'm foolish," where it's like they're giants, I believe, and they're like chasing after like a smaller. Like, I think it's similar to that. Anyway,
Okay.
but yeah, Don't Come Around Here No More. Like I said, the part where he's like eating cake and it's like her body, and it's like, oh my god, she's alive, and it's just.
Yeah, where are you at on Tom Petty in general?
I like Tom Petty.
Okay, yeah, I'm okay with Tom Petty.
Yeah.
But I had forgotten about that video until you brought it up.
Right?
When you started talking, I was like, well, it's Tom Petty. I don't remember him doing anything.
That's the first one I wrote down.
Yeah. Oh, good. Now I have to think about that.
Yeah. In the song, just, like, stop.
My number 2 is, I don't even know if it's a video. I'm picturing something, and I don't really remember if it exists or not. Maybe it just exists in my head. It was I Was Made for Loving You by Kiss.
Okay.
It's like their disco song.
Yeah.
So when that song came out, a lot of the rock Kiss people like were against it, but that was what was big at the time.
Yeah.
And
I remember them
turned
doing
on
disco. I don't remember that song though.
I'm pretty sure you don't remember that song? You know the song.
Play it at the end of the episode.
I was made for love.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I think that's one of those ones I forget that's Kiss.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they had a video that was just kind of like too disco and too... You're like, what's going on?
I totally know it. Okay.
And so that one is potentially just me remembering that song and putting something weird attached to it. May not even be a video,
well,
but I'm pretty sure.
Associating an awesome band with something that you didn't like.
Yeah, and I love Kiss. I got a Kiss sticker right over here. Look at these guys. Knights in Satan's service, brother.
Nice. Have you seen Detroit Rock City?
Yeah.
Great movie.
A long time ago, but yes.
We should watch that and review it for next week's episode.
Okay.
Right. If I can find it. My number 1, this is, it's a good song. It's an iconic song. Iconically bad video. What do you think?
I think it's going to be my number 3 in my top 3 is what I think.
Is it November Rain?
It is.
Okay. Yeah. That's your favorite video?
Top 3.
Okay.
I know.
Well-made video. And I think, you know what, I'm being more facetious with this one because the video is like just purposely... not
something
purposely.
With you and cake. That's what it is.
It's not just that, dude. If you want me to go... Okay, why does Slash's guitar not have a string attached to it? When he walks outside of this church that has 2,000 people in it, it's smaller than the room we're in right now.
Hilarious.
And there's no cars anywhere.
That's hilarious.
Also, Slash is like, fuck your wedding, I'm gonna go play guitar by a cliff. And then, after this dude jumps through the cake, Axl's wife dies. It's like, wait, what the fuck?
Oh, you don't know anyone who hasn't been hurt in a cake-related injury?
Well, not that the trickle effect was the guy who jumped through, his sister died.
Look,
also the part where he's just like, hey man, where's the wedding
I'll tell
ring?
You where
Slash
it is.
Doesn't have it, and Duff's like, here it is, bro.
The point was, that was the curse on the wedding. What that guy did, they should have known that they shouldn't have been together at that point.
Okay.
And then what happened to the woman, we don't know. We don't know what happened to the woman, but they were cursed since the day one. Because even on their wedding day, it rained and they didn't get to enjoy the cake. I love that video.
Okay. Well, do me a favor. Watch it with open eyes next time. And you'll be like, wow, this is a stupid fucking video.
No, I believe you that it is stupid. I just have to defend
that
it.
one. Yeah. That one, I kind of wanted to just talk about because like it's a renowned. It's a great song. It's a very good song.
Brilliant song.
Yeah, but I mean, like, just when you watch it for the first time, you're like, that's cool, man. Slash looks awesome playing guitar out there by himself, but then you're just like, oh, this actually is a really good. Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, it is awesome. The piano sounds great.
All right, so my number 1 bottom 3 videos is Dancing in the Street, Nice. Mick Jagger.
Oh yeah,
this is just number 1 on most people's lists. Megan brought it up and I was like, yeah, that's gotta be it.
Have you seen the one where they take the music out and it's just
tapping, but yeah, it's hilarious. I got nothing against when I was younger, like let's say teenage years, I was really anti David Bowie. Okay. I was like, I don't get it. This is stupid. I hate this. This is artsy, whatever.
Tony with the David Bowie hair.
As I've gotten older, I kind of have an appreciation for some David Bowie stuff. Some of it I still don't. I'm not really into or whatever. But like this video, this was pushing boundaries of anything good. It just wasn't good. It was just. Yeah, the better video was without the music. The one that you were just talking about, where it's just noises of them. That's hilarious. They should have used that as the video.
David Bowie made you a lot of money on eBay, though, right?
He did. Sale, He did. I found Labyrinth was a movie that my cousin Nick used to have on VHS back in the day, but I think it was taped on
Okay.
with a tape with like the Super Bowl Shuffle or something.
Hell yeah.
And then I found it a couple years ago sealed. This was during the big VHS craze.
Oh yeah, I know this story. I'm acting like, what?
Yeah.
What?
And it was $30 for a VHS like 2 years ago. And I sold it on eBay for $1,000.
$1,000.
And the entire 90 days that you have to wait for, like, processing that they can possibly return it, I was like, what is happening? How is this a transaction that exists? But $30 into $1,000 for a Labyrinth? I don't know. I don't know what they did with it, but God bless you to whoever purchased that. So thank you.
One of the greatest eBay stories ever.
My top three, number 3.
Oh wait, hold on. I have one potent note.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
And it is Thriller by Michael Jackson. Fantastic video. Scares the shit out of me still to this day.
So, bottom.
Bottom, just because of the terror. I remember... Yeah, in the very beginning, the part where he's turning and his girlfriend's like, you know, behind his back, and he turns and he's like, "Go away!" One of the scariest things in my life, and that's one of those memories where it's like, I don't remember many things from that age, but I remember the first time I saw Thriller, and I ran out of the house like screaming.
I'm gonna agree with you. I have it as a potent notable in my positives.
Okay,
but
and
only,
you know what?
Only because of the how great of a video it was for that time. But you're right, it was scary.
That's why it's one of my least favorite, but I can appreciate the hell out of that video, especially for its time.
It was like a movie. It was. I mean, it was. Wasn't it?
They started off at a movie.
Somebody?
Yeah, they.
Like Spielberg or somebody.
Well, I know like Vincent Price was like in the
Involved.
video,
Okay,
or he did the talking at least. You know.
Yeah, I mean, what a crazy thing at that time, but
awesome. I do have some Michael Jackson related stuff on my top 2 though.
On your top 2, okay.
My top, also.
All right, top 3. My number 3 is November Rain. We talked about it a little bit.
Give me your positives.
Here's what I love about it. This is a video that I mean, one of the first videos I remember from being a kid that like stuck out, and that was an 8-minute song, which is amazing in the first place. But second of all, there's just like so many different attributes of it, and you talked about him. Slash outside of the thing, I don't need to know what kind of system he has plugged in. I just know it's Slash, and he's just in a desert, and he's playing by himself. And then, yes, like, the church is this big, and then there's so many people
there's
in it.
no cars anywhere.
I never once thought, hey, this isn't realistic. I only thought, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I love this. And then the part about the cake, where the guy runs and he dives through the cake, that used to bother me when I was a kid. Because everybody else is running. Some people are going under the table. There's no reason that guy was in such a rush that he had to go through the cake.
Through the cake.
Like, he could have walked around.
Not even dive over the table next to the cake.
There was
through it.
99.9% other places he could go. And he went directly through the cake 99% of a wedding.
Other places.
Yeah, if it was a pie chart, he hit the smallest
Or the
piece.
show you used to watch, the one where the thing comes at you and you have to make
hole in the wall.
Hole in the wall. There you go.
He completely went wall. Yeah. Like it was just unnecessary.
If that's all that came out was
like
the
cake
shape,
coming,
he just drove right at it.
Yeah, it was not. Yeah, so
my phone shut off again.
I kind of. It's okay. I kind of agree with you that it's ludicrous and stuff like that, but my love of Guns N' Roses, my love of that video, like all of that stuff to me was just. That's why I made my top 3. Like, I have nothing but happy thoughts when I think of that video.
Well, that's good. Because, again, and it's like, with the ones I named, it's hard for me to be like, I hate everything about it. It's like, no, the video is either scary or whatever, but the song's still good, so...
And by the way, that video includes the death of a bride, and it is the happiest of the 3 of my top 3 music videos. So,
all right, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so my number 3 is First Date by Blink-182.
Okay.
Speaking of rednecks, which we talked about last week, this is a video where it's like the 80s or the 70s or something, and it looks like Dazed and Confused. So it's just, it's a good Blink-182 song. It's one of their like more upbeat, fast songs, No, that's the Rock Show. But anyway, it kind of sounded like that. But the song is like, there's a part where like they're working at, I think Dave Grohl's in the video actually, and he plays like a creepy guy, like the pool attendant that like says you can go like down the water slide.
Okay.
And he like slaps one of their butts or something. But anyway, just a hilarious video because Blink-182 is a hilarious band. So
yeah, I don't think I give enough credit to Blink-182 because I never was a fan. Okay. Not even the early stuff that like was decent that I found out way after that I didn't like them.
Dude Ranch, essentially.
Yeah, it's just like it's not for me. And that was the time, you know, when I really cared about. I was like, sellouts, these sellouts. Why would you go see these sellouts?
Yeah.
And I never really liked their music. However, if you listen, it's the catchiest music in the world. Everybody knows the lyrics, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
They had the video with the one nurse chick. That's where I thought you were going.
Yeah. So she was a porn star.
Okay, but she was a nurse in the
video.
And that's where I thought you were gonna go, but you went to a different one, and I don't really have any Blink-182 knowledge besides that one video. So
well, it's a funny video at the end. It gives like what they went on to do, but I remember one of the guys' name is like Boomer. So they have like awesome like hillbilly names too. But yeah, very funny video.
Funny and creative band for sure.
Yeah. All right.
My number 2 is a sad video by a band called LCD Sound System, and the song is called "Oh Baby." And I haven't seen this video in quite a while, but it like tugs on the heartstrings, as it's like a man and a woman, and you're trying to come up with what the story is, and I think the woman is sick. I think the woman is, you know, you find out that she's sick, and so the guy spends all of this time, they live in the middle of nowhere, and he spends all of this time ordering things and trying to like make a time machine or something so that they can go back in time together, you know what I mean? Because he feels like he's gonna lose her.
Oh, wow.
And she's getting sicker and sicker. Now I'm going off memory. It's been a while since I've seen this video, so I might have some of the details wrong, but this is the general gist of it.
Right.
And then towards the end, they finally like, he made this machine where like you throw a ball in on one side and it comes out on the other, like separate, right? Like a portal of some type. So they're like really excited, and they go to sleep, and while they're asleep, people come in and steal all of their stuff.
Oh shit.
And so it's just like a sad, like they try to chase after them, they can't get after the people and whatever, and it's just like, it is a very sad video that like at the end you're just kind of like, oh.
Well, it's amazing too though that you can tell a story like that in like 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, and the music that's going on is I don't want to call it a simple song, but it's like a, you know, it's like a drum machine. It's like it's powerful. I mean, it's a very powerful video. It's sad and I hate to bring it down, but it is like one of the best videos I ever saw. I'll never forget that video, you know.
Okay.
So that's my number 2.
All right. Back with more iconic, well-made videos. Sabotage by the Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
Just an awesome crime video. Like a kind of old school 70s New York.
Yeah.
You know, with the mustaches and everything and the old suits.
Hilarious. I was never like a huge Beastie Boys fan, but I like some of their like bigger hits and whatever. But videos were always really cool to watch.
That's another funny thing with the Beastie Boys is just, not like we've been talking about them all episode. I'm like, another funny thing, but how they used to play their own music, and they had a lot of punk songs back in the day, like on their first album, even like Heart Attack Man. I don't know if you've heard that song. I mean, that's just like a straight up like.
I remember finding out they were like a punk band, and so I just went back and listened to it. And I was like, I'm never gonna listen to this again, but it is really weird. And
well, like Fight for Your Right. I mean, that's just an awesome rock and roll song, and so yeah.
Remember Girls?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a punk song, but like,
it's a good song.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's a good one. So my number 1, top 3. First one had my number 3 had The Death of a Bride.
Yeah.
My number 2 has probably Death of an Old Lady.
Death of a Marriage or something.
Or something, or illness and corruption and whatever.
Wait, so is this like Mary Jane's Last Dance? I'm trying to think of videos where women die.
I mean,
speaking of Tom Petty,
there is a dead woman in this video.
All
right. But unlike you, I do not celebrate the death of women.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I'm sad for these women. No, I'm kidding. Don't let your daughters hear that.
Yeah.
Mark that down, 54 minutes. No, this is Johnny Cash, Hurt.
Okay.
You're familiar with the song?
Yeah,
you ever
absolutely.
see the video?
I don't know if I'm probably, isn't it like, I don't know, go ahead.
It's just a clips
That's
video.
what I thought, okay.
So it kind of goes back and forth between like him now, he's an old man, you see him, and then it goes through his life. It shows him as a young guy, you know, when he was in his 20s probably. Then it shows him and his wife June, who eventually had passed, and then he passed after she did. And it just shows him aging, getting older. She leaves, and then he is just this old man. And you know that song, you hear it in his voice how old he is and like the pain that he's been through and all that stuff. And like the story of Johnny Cash is like as big as anything else, as the music, as everything. So it's just like all of it together. If you watch that video and you don't have a tear in your eye, I don't know, like,
you're not human.
It's I mean, that is a video that it's a tough one. It's a tough one to watch, especially if you're a fan. If you're not a fan, you feel it as a human being that this man, he lost his wife and look, he used to be this and now he's old. So like I love bringing this podcast down with the saddest one, but these are the best videos to me. They're just like incredible videos.
I think that one was covered by 9 Inch Nails, right? Or Trent Reznor.
It was a 9 Inch Nails song.
Oh, and then he covered it. That okay? I knew there was some. That's insane, by the way. To be able to say Johnny Cash covered our song.
Well, Rick Rubin like was working with him later and was like trying to do this Johnny Cash 4. I think it was the album.
Okay.
It was like towards the end of his life, and you know, trying to put something together for like this part of his life, and he was like, try this song, and it ended up being that. And it was like, I mean, the 9 Inch Nails song is great to me, and this to
that's
me
why
is
I think when you asked about the video, I was thinking of that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I mean,
if they hit, am I lying? Did 9 Inch Nails release that though? Was that a hit? Maybe not. Maybe I just knew that there was a link or a relation.
No, I think it's a video.
Okay.
I think there's a video to it. It's probably dark and there's like bugs involved.
Bugs, centipedes, and millipedes. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Quickly, my number one. One of your favorite bands, man.
Blue Meanies.
Buddy Holly by
Celebration
Weezer.
5000. Oh. Yeah, great.
One of the greatest videos ever created. Well, obviously, it's my number one, but I mean, just like how much work went into that. Them putting green screen stuff in there of the Fonz actually dancing, having Pat Morita, you know, like come in the video, and it's awesome. When that debuted on MTV, they played it so many damn times because it was such a popular song. That was I remember recording that one.
I just remember watching it and like trying to like understand the technology because you can kind of see like
you can see the green screen where he's clearly like popping out of.
But it was so cool. It was just like, this is well done, and like I used to watch Happy Days, so I like Happy Days.
See, I actually didn't, but I knew all about it, so I was still like this incredible. And then the song was just great.
Yeah, that album is top album for me.
All right, so Potent Notables, I'll do mine real quick. I said Michael Jackson related. It's actually Weird Al, Fat.
Okay.
Actually, you know what?
Great video.
That's a great video. I mixed it up, though. I wanted to say Eat It. I was thinking of that one for Beat It. So both of those videos are awesome. Three Little Pigs by Green Jelly.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one?
Yes.
One of the guys at work brought that up the other day. He's like, yeah, it came up on my shuffle, and I watched the video. And that's another one you could say, it's like, well, that's creepy, kind of like Winona's Big Brown Beaver, but it's like, I don't care. I don't know. That one, it's like the old Sun-Kissed video. Yeah, like claymation, basically.
Yeah, they still play. They play around here.
Do they really?
Once in a while, they come through town. That video was great. Great call. I totally forgot about that.
And then I have one more, and I have talked about this video. I remember, I think it was possibly on a list before. But anyway, Carly Rae Jepsen, Call Me Maybe.
All right.
Just because, have you seen that video?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like how at the end you find out that the guy she has a crush on is gay. I thought it was really clever.
I think you told me that, and I was surprised. I don't remember it, but like I remember the video.
Yeah, so that's, I just thought that the first time I saw it, because it was such a popular song and my kids loved it, and I watched the video, it's like, that's brilliant. That's very clever.
I had Thriller. I had Buddy Holly in my Potent Notables. And then I had a couple other ones. One of them, it was a Coolio song.
Okay.
And I think it was either 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wasn't Fantastic Voyage?
It was Fantastic Voyage. Whichever one had the car on the beach and all the people kept coming out of the
That was
trunk.
Fantastic Voyage.
Yeah, that was fantastic. That was fantastic video is what they should have called it. I loved it when everybody's just like...
Speaking of Coolio, Amish Paradise, another great one for Weird Al.
Yeah. You love Weird Al, huh?
I thought you were more of a Weird Al fan, no?
I'm not.
Oh, God, I think he's brilliant.
I was talking to a buddy of mine who goes to see Weird Al every time. Does meet and
I don't
greets
think
with
I
him.
would do that. I'm not that big a fan.
He saw him with like the Chicago Symphony. Like he'll go see him all the time. And I was like, I don't get it, but like I know people who are like great musicians love Weird Al, and like I'm not against it. It's just like after a couple, I'm like, all right, I get it.
That's why
I also make mock songs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you were talking about the one a couple weeks ago, but the like Even Worse, which was his spoof on Bad.
Yeah. That
one's awesome, and then there's like maybe 2 other albums that I really like, and other than that, it's like I know a few of his songs, but I've never owned a Weird Al CD.
I watched his whatever it was.
UHF?
No, but they made a documentary or something about it.
Oh, wasn't that who was that? Daniel Radcliffe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
was it any good?
He was really good in it. Yeah, I mean, I think like for what it is, it's just kind of funny, and half the time you're like, is this real? You're trying to figure out if it's like really about his life or if it's like exaggerated things, and then you're like, oh well, it's Weird Al, so like the point is I shouldn't know anything about it. Like, it was creative. It was very good. It was worth watching.
Nice.
But yeah, so that Coolio video, loved it. Okay, Go. Here it goes again.
Is that the one with the treadmills?
Yeah. That's just like, if I think music video, that pops up. It's not one of my favorites, but it was very creative, and it popped up because it was so popular at the time. And then that Missy Elliott video where she's like,
it's your balloon. Is that one?
Probably. I don't know any Missy Elliott, but just the video was very visually very like cool.
She looked like one of those like flame, like the arm flailing guys at like the gas station.
Except it was like very.
It was like a garbage bag almost, right? Yeah. You didn't want to say it, so I did.
I would have said it if I remembered the word garbage or bag, but
or bag. All right, so I guess it's time for us to pull our top 3 for next week.
Time for me to crank it and you to watch, buddy.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right, let's see what Namor the Handsome has brought us.
I never remember his name. You said it like an hour ago. I mean, a week and an hour ago.
All right, here we go. Hold on, don't pull it up yet. All right, this one's fun. We're going to do top 3 video games.
Video game. Okay.
Okay, you know what, though? In parentheses, it says agree on a system.
Yeah, because obviously video games is so many video games.
All right.
So, I don't know what you had growing up. Were you a Genesis guy? Were you a Nintendo?
You're Genesis.
So you were Sega.
Would you be okay with just like PlayStation?
Does that count any PlayStation? 1 through 5?
I would want to do either 2 or 3. PS2 or PS3, but I don't know if you had those.
Okay.
Growing up, we were a Genesis family and then a PlayStation, so I had PS1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, I was also a PlayStation person. So if you want to do PS2.
Awesome, yeah, that's the best one.
All right, let's do top 3 and bottom 3 PS2, PlayStation 2 video games. By the way, then throw that thing back in because we could always do a Sega. You want to just do Sega?
Genesis?
I was also a Sega.
You know what? Let's do top 3 PS2 and top 3 Sega. Because I don't want to do bottom. Yeah, because
okay.
Obviously, we would buy the games we liked. And that's pretty... All right, so top 3 PS2 and top 3 Sega.
All right. Sounds good.
Hell yeah.
We will see you guys next week.
Later.